Have you ever wondered why some men who aren't particularly rich, tall, or conventionally attractive, still have women leaning in, eyes lit up, completely drawn to them? It's not magic, and it's definitely not manipulation. It's a collection of powerful invisible traits, the kind that make a woman feel something real, something she can't quite explain. In a world obsessed with filters, money, and image, true magnetism has nothing to do with surface-level appeal. It's not built in the gym or bank account. It's built in your presence, your emotional depth, and your mindset. This series dives into 9 irresistible traits rooted in psychology, Stoicism, and neuroscience. These traits don't just attract women, they elevate your entire identity. Dr. Helen Fisher, a renowned biological anthropologist at Rutgers University, once said, "Romantic attraction isn't just about looks, it's driven by personality, confidence, resilience, ambition. That's what activates the dopamine system." In other words, when a woman falls for a man, it's not because of his face, it's because of how he makes her feel. That feeling begins with the very first trait on our list, true confidence. So today, we begin at the foundation, not ego, not noise, just quiet, powerful confidence, the kind that needs no applause to feel real. Part 1. Confidence without arrogance. Confidence isn't about being the loudest guy in the room or constantly trying to prove something. It's not about showing off, flexing status, or trying to dominate a conversation. Real confidence is subtle. It's calm. It walks in with quiet certainty and doesn't need validation to stand tall. When you're truly confident, you don't chase approval. You carry an inner knowing that you're enough. You speak less but say more. You move with purpose, not performance. Women can sense this because confidence feels safe, grounded, and attractive in a primal way. Research published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology shows that self-assured individuals are consistently rated as more attractive, regardless of their physical features. That's because confidence signals security, stability, and presence. It shows you can lead, handle stress, and stay grounded when things get messy. But there's a fine line. Arrogance repels. It's overcompensation for insecurity. It brags, interrupts, and constantly needs the spotlight. Women see through it, and they walk away from it. What they crave is the opposite, a man who is so secure in himself that he doesn't need to be seen to be felt. So how do you build this kind of presence? Not by pretending, not by faking it until you make it. True confidence grows when you do hard things and keep promises to yourself. It's forged in discomfort, earned through repetition, and solidified through inner wins, small or big. The next time you enter a room, try this. Don't speak first. Don't overshare. Just be. Let your presence say what your words don't have to. When you're comfortable in silence, people lean in to listen. And women, they notice. Because that kind of presence is magnetic and rare. Part 2. Emotional intelligence and empathy. Here's a truth many men don't want to hear. Being emotionally disconnected doesn't make you strong. It makes you unreadable. And unreadable isn't mysterious, it's exhausting. Emotional intelligence isn't about being soft, it's about being tuned in. In today's emotionally chaotic world, women aren't looking for a man who hides everything behind a stoic mask. They're looking for someone who can feel, but not be ruled by feelings. Someone who can sit with discomfort, not run from it. That's emotional strength. That's real masculinity. Emotional intelligence is the ability to recognize not only your own emotions, but the unspoken emotions of the people around you. It's when she says, "I'm fine," and you know she's not. It's when you can sit next to her in silence and understand more than words ever could say. That's when connection begins. Psychologist Daniel Goleman, who popularized the concept of emotional intelligence, said it best. Emotional intelligence is a master aptitude. It influences how we manage behavior, navigate social complexities, and make personal decisions that achieve positive results. In relationships, that means EQ often matters more than IQ. It's not about solving her problems. It's about feeling her pain and making her feel safe in it. Too often, when a woman opens up, men jump into fix-it mode. It comes from a good place, but it's a missed opportunity. Because most of the time, she doesn't want a solution. She wants to be seen, to be heard, to feel like her emotions matter, not just her logic. Next time she's sharing something difficult, resist the urge to offer a solution. Instead, say, "That sounds really heavy. I can see why it would make you feel that way." That one sentence, it can be more powerful than any advice you could give, because empathy creates connection, and connection is the bridge to emotional intimacy. And yes, developing emotional intelligence is a practice. It's not a switch you flip. It starts with slowing down, observing your own emotional triggers, asking yourself, "What am I feeling and why?" And then doing the same with her. When you develop this awareness, everything changes. Your conversations become deeper, your relationships feel safer, and women begin to lean in, not because you're trying harder, but because you understand them in a way most men never learned how to. Because here's the secret no one tells you. Empathy doesn't weaken your masculinity. It amplifies it. It tells her that you're emotionally safe. And emotional safety, that's what makes her stay. Part 3. Ambition and drive. Ambition isn't about chasing money. It's not about flexing titles or showing off what you've achieved. True ambition is quieter and far more powerful. It's the fire inside a man who knows he was made for more. Women are drawn to that fire, not because of the destination, but because of the direction. A man without purpose feels like a ship without a compass. No matter how polished it looks on the outside, it drifts. But a man with purpose, he becomes magnetic, even if he hasn't arrived yet. You don't need to be the CEO of a company or a world-class athlete to be ambitious. Ambition simply means you're becoming, that you're not stagnant, that you wake up with intention, even if it's just to improve 1% from the day before. Dr. Angela Duckworth, a psychologist at the University of Pennsylvania, calls this trait grit, the combination of passion and perseverance for long-term goals. She writes, "Wet is living life like it's a marathon, not a sprint." And grit is incredibly attractive because it signals a man who's not afraid of struggle, a man who sees the mountain and climbs anyway. Ambition doesn't have to look big from the outside. It could be reading a book every week, starting a small side hustle, learning a new language. What matters is that you're evolving, shaping your future instead of reacting to life as it comes. And here's the part most men miss. When you're passionately pursuing something, you radiate a kind of energy that's hard to fake. That energy is contagious. It tells her, "I know where I'm going, and you're welcome to walk beside me." Even if she doesn't share the same dream, she feels pulled toward your momentum. Because women don't just want to love a man, they want to believe in him. So ask yourself today, what are you building? What drives you? What would you pursue if failure wasn't a fear? Then take one step, just one. Because in a world full of distractions and excuses, a man with a mission is a rare and irresistible force. Part 4. Humor and playfulness. Life is heavy. Every day brings pressure, deadlines, expectations, and stress. That's why humor isn't just attractive, it's healing, it's a release. And the man who can offer that relief, he becomes unforgettable. Playfulness isn't about being immature, it's about lightness in a world that feels too heavy. It's the ability to find joy in ordinary moments, to laugh when things get awkward, and to help others breathe easier, especially her. When a man can make a woman laugh, he gives her more than a moment. He gives her permission to let her guard down. Laughter creates connection. According to a study published in Evolutionary Psychology, women consistently rank a man's sense of humor as one of the top traits that spark attraction. Why? Because it signals intelligence, creativity, and social awareness all within seconds. But here's the nuance. It's not about being a clown or trying too hard. Forced jokes repel. Real humor flows from presence. from being fully there, fully you, and willing to not take life or yourself so seriously. Think about the last time someone made you laugh in a moment that didn't feel funny at all. Maybe it was an inside joke, a playful tease, or just a comment that shifted your mood. That's the magic. Humor doesn't erase the hard stuff. It makes the hard stuff easier to carry. And women notice this deeply. When you make her laugh, you make her feel lighter. And in a world that often demands her strength, laughter becomes rare and precious. Start practicing playfulness in everyday moments. Make fun of yourself when you trip over words. Smile when plans fall apart. Tease gently, laugh generously, and don't be afraid to be a little silly when the moment calls for it. Because when she's with you and she's smiling, relaxed, and not trying so hard to be perfect, that's when she feels most like herself. And that's when she starts to associate you with that feeling. So no, humor isn't just a bonus trait. It's a bridge, it's a spark. It's often the very thing that turns chemistry into connection. Part 5. Stability and dependability. In a world that feels chaotic and constantly shifting, one trait rises above the noise. Stability. Not flashy, not loud, just calm, grounded consistency. And women are deeply drawn to it. Stability doesn't mean being perfect. It means being predictable in the ways that matter. It's knowing that when everything else falls apart, you won't. And that is incredibly attractive, because emotional safety is a form of intimacy too. Dependability is the quiet promise you make through your actions, not your words. It's showing up when it's inconvenient. It's keeping your word when no one's watching. It's holding space, not just when things are easy, but when things get hard. Dr. Amir Levine, psychiatrist and co-author of Attached, writes, "Emotional responsiveness is the cornerstone of secure bonding. Being dependable tells your partner, 'I am here, you can count on me.' And when a woman feels that, she relaxes, she lets go, she begins to trust. This isn't just about money or being a provider. It's about emotional steadiness. You don't crumble when life gets messy. You don't lash out when stressed. You regulate your reactions instead of letting your reactions regulate you. That's what makes a man feel safe to love." Stability also means you've built structure in your own life. You have routines, you have goals, you pay attention to your health, your finances, your relationships, not out of fear, but out of self-respect. And when a man respects himself, women instinctively respect him too. So ask yourself, when people describe you, do they say, "He's reliable, he follows through, he doesn't flake when things get real"? Because those words aren't just compliments. They're indicators of masculine depth. You don't need to be dramatic. You don't need to say a word. Just keep showing up consistently, calmly, and consciously, and you'll be the man who gives her something rare. In a world full of big promises and small follow-throughs, be the exception. Be the constant. Because stability isn't boring. It's what makes love safe enough to grow. Part 6. Passion and enthusiasm. There's something electric about a man who's genuinely excited to be alive. You can feel it in his eyes, his voice, the way he talks about his projects, his ideas, even the small things, like music, books, or the way morning coffee makes him feel. That energy, that's passion. And passion is magnetic. You don't need to be obsessed with work, fame, or legacy. You just need to care deeply about something. It could be writing, building, teaching, training, learning, helping, or dreaming. Whatever lights you up from within, that's what makes you glow. And people, especially women, are drawn to that glow. Psychologist Mihai Csikszentmihalyi, the pioneer behind the concept of flow, described it as the state where we're fully immersed in something meaningful. He wrote, "The best moments in our lives are not the passive, receptive, relaxing times. The best moments usually occur when a person's body or mind is stretched to its limits in a voluntary effort to accomplish something difficult and worthwhile. That's what passion feels like. And when a woman senses that in you, she doesn't just admire it. She wants to be part of it. Passion signals purpose. It shows you're not numb or lost or waiting for someone else to save you. It shows you're engaged with life, that you're participating heart, mind, and spirit. And here's what most people overlook. Passion isn't always loud. Sometimes it's quiet, focused, intentional. You might not talk about it all the time, but when you do, your eyes light up, your voice changes, your energy shifts, and she feels it. Make time for what excites you, even if it seems small. Feed your curiosity, explore new ideas, lose yourself in things that make time disappear. Because the more alive you feel in your own life, the more she'll want to be part of it. Women are intuitive. They can tell when a man is just floating and when he's rising. Your enthusiasm isn't childish, it's compelling. It signals vitality. It shows that you care, and caring is powerful. So don't suppress your fire. Don't dim it to appear cool or detached. Stoke it, fuel it, let it burn. Because your passion is not only your path, it's your presence. And that presence leaves an imprint no one forgets. Part 7. Mystery and Independence. In a culture addicted to oversharing, mystery has become a lost art. We've been taught that transparency means connection, but when it comes to attraction, giving too much too soon doesn't create intimacy, it kills intrigue. Mystery isn't about playing games. It's about having depth, layers, a private world that she can't access all at once, that she wants to explore over time, piece by piece, not because you're hiding, but because you're whole. When you hold something back, not out of fear, but out of fullness, it creates a quiet tension, a curiosity. And women, by nature, are drawn to curiosity. When you're not constantly explaining yourself or seeking her approval, you invite her into a subtle emotional chase, one that feels exciting, not manipulative. According to Dr. Arthur Aaron, whose 36 Questions That Lead to Love study became famous for fostering deep connection, mystery plays a key role in building desire. He found that uncertainty and slow emotional revelation stimulate romantic attraction, especially in the early stages of connection. Why? Because discovery is a powerful emotional drug. It activates anticipation, wonder, and emotional investment. Being independent doesn't mean being distant. It means you have a life, a rhythm, a purpose outside of her. You're not waiting to be completed. You're already living fully, and she gets to witness that, maybe even join you in it, but she doesn't define it. This doesn't mean you shut down emotionally or withhold affection. It means you reveal with intention. You let her in, gradually as trust builds, and you do so not because you need her, but because you choose her. Think about the most compelling characters in film or literature, the ones you remember. They don't give everything away in the first chapter. There's complexity, stillness, strength wrapped in subtlety. You want to know more because there's clearly more to know. Be that in your own life. Keep nurturing your interests, your friendships, your routines. Don't abandon your passions to orbit someone else's world. Build your own, and let her orbit yours if she chooses. When you become the man who doesn't reveal everything, who doesn't need constant attention, who has places to be, books to read, goals to meet, you become the man she thinks about when you're not around. And that's the power of mystery, not distance, not deception, but quiet depth that says, I am already enough, with or without you. Part 8. Kindness and Compassion. Kindness has been misunderstood. It's been mistaken for weakness, for passivity, for being a man who bends too easily. But real kindness, it's not soft, it's solid. It takes strength to stay tender in a world that rewards indifference. Women don't fall for cruelty masked as confidence. They fall for presence wrapped in compassion, for a man who's both grounded and gracious, who can protect but also care, who sees the world through strong eyes but a soft heart. True kindness isn't performative. It's not something you put on like a suit when it's convenient. It's embedded in how you treat people when you have nothing to gain. It shows up in how you speak to the waitress, the stranger, the friend who's going through something no one sees. And yes, women notice. Because how you treat others when no one is watching is a window into how you'll treat her when the world goes quiet. Research published in the Journal of Social Psychology found that kindness was consistently ranked as one of the most desirable traits in a long-term partner. It wasn't appearance, success, or charm. It was compassion, because compassion communicates safety, and safety allows love to grow roots. But let's be clear, kindness doesn't mean being a pushover. It doesn't mean saying yes to everything or avoiding conflict. In fact, true kindness includes boundaries. It says, I care deeply, but I won't betray myself to keep the peace. It's the kind of kindness that's not afraid to say no, that knows when to stand firm, that isn't driven by fear of rejection, but by alignment with inner values. And that balance, it's rare, it's attractive, it's trustworthy. Start small. Offer help without needing credit. Listen when someone's talking without planning your reply. Speak gently, especially when you're frustrated. And most importantly, treat yourself with that same kindness. Because how you treat you sets the tone for how you treat everyone else. Kindness doesn't make you weak, it makes you magnetic. In a world of ego and noise, be the calm, be the shelter, be the reason someone feels seen, even if just for a moment. Because to a woman looking for something real, the man who carries compassion with quiet dignity, that's the man who stays in her heart long after others have left her mind. Part 9. Physical presence and charisma. Before you say a single word, you're already speaking. Through the way you stand, through the energy you carry into a room, through the way you look someone in the eyes or avoid their gaze. That's physical presence, and when it's aligned with inner confidence, it becomes something greater, charisma. Charisma isn't about being the loudest, it's not about being the center of attention, it's about making people feel something in your presence, without needing to perform. It's subtle, yet unmistakable. When a man walks with purpose, shoulders relaxed, chin up, eyes steady, he carries a rhythm the world notices. Women especially notice, not because it's showy, but because it feels like strength, calm, grounded, unforced strength. A study published in the Journal of Nonverbal Behavior found that body language accounts for more than 50% of how others perceive confidence and attraction. That means long before you impress her with your words, your presence is already making the first impression. So let's break it down. Your body language? It matters. Stand tall, not stiff, but open. Make eye contact, not to dominate, but to connect. Move with intention, not urgency. Speak slowly, clearly, with space between your words. Every pause adds weight. Every stillness adds presence. Your voice matters too, not just what you say, but how you say it. Speak from your chest, not your throat. Let your tone carry conviction, not volume. And let silence be part of your rhythm. Silence, when comfortable, is magnetic. Now let's talk appearance. No, this isn't about having a perfect jawline or six-pack abs. This is about self-respect. Groom well, dress with care, not to impress, but to reflect how you see yourself. Because when you carry yourself like someone worth investing in, others will follow suit. And here's the deeper truth. Charisma doesn't come from being noticed. It comes from not needing to be. It's the inner stillness that makes people curious. It's the confidence to let others shine while knowing your own light is steady. Women feel that. They remember how a man made them feel, not through charm, but through presence. A presence that says, I know who I am. I'm not here to chase or impress. I'm here to be. So carry yourself as if your energy is enough, because it is. Charisma isn't about being perfect. It's about being real and letting that reality ripple through everything you do. Now you know the 9 traits, but knowledge alone won't change your life. Application will. Confidence, emotional intelligence, drive, humor, stability, passion, mystery, kindness, presence. These aren't tactics, these are foundations. And when practiced daily, they don't just make you more attractive, they make you more authentic. You don't need to chase, you don't need to fake, you simply need to become, step by step, the man you've always had the potential to be. So ask yourself, which of these traits will you focus on first? What's one small action you can take today to shift your presence, your mindset, your energy? Because women don't fall for perfect men, they fall for men who are growing, who are present, and who are aligned with something deeper than approval. And that's the secret. Be the man who leads himself, and she will follow, not because she has to, but because she wants to.